Good morning, everybody. Okay, let's get Becky in here to start the show. Invited you in.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You awake finally?
What is that behind you?
Oh, my little, can you see part of my sign there?
Yes, I love that. I love that.
Ah, cool.
I am awake now. We had our coffee.
See? Now that's your logo. See, Brandon?
I know, I made that.
Raise the roof to Brandon.
Good morning, everybody. Go ahead and comment in the chat on these sides so we can know that you're here. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Alma.
Alma is here.
So, Blab is officially gone.
Yes, that's old news.
It's gone.
That's old news.
But that means for those of you who've wanted our replays that we haven't uploaded to YouTube yet, they're gone. There's no possible way to get them anymore. So thankfully, we're redoing a lot of shows and updating content. Like today, we're going to be doing Instagram again because Instagram's had a lot of changes in the past 6 months anyway.
Yes, and we'll be going back through our most popular things and doing them and recording them for our website and YouTube channel.
So today's Instagram again.
Plus, Brandon and I are going to get together in January, right?
And we're going to record some live stuff.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh, thank you.
The kids coming out to Vegas.
I think Instagram episode was the best one.
Yeah.
So before we start, make sure you guys go ahead and share this out on your Facebooks. Make sure you comment on our Facebook group. You can tweet it out. You can put it on your Instagram. You can put it on your everywhere, and it will help us share our knowledge and know-how.
Yep.
So I'm Brendan R. Wagner. I'm the CEO and president of waxcrumbles.com. We are the anti-suicide candle company. And with me, my mentor and co-host on one of these sides,
Becky J. Anderson from BeckyJAnderson.com and ProductBizMadeEasy.com. And we're excited to be here, aren't we, Brandon?
Yes. So Instagram, I'm ready to jump in.
I know you are because you are the Instagram.
I don't even have to be awake to talk Instagram. I can talk Instagram in my sleep. We're good.
I know. And you know what? I think we should start off with kind of your quick recap of what you've been able to do with Instagram.
Right.
For those that don't know, because you've done some amazing things with Instagram.
So it was about this time last year. So it's almost September in a couple days. And September 1st is when I moved to Kansas. And in that same time, so right now I was just getting the ball running with Instagram. So it's only been a year and we just hit our first $20,000 month. Woo! And it's still a handmade business. Like it's me and 4 assistants who be here at 12 every day. So we went from, in a matter of like 6 months, from like $0, like I lived with my mom in Baltimore. I had like no cash to my name. I don't know how I was getting by. And I started this candle company up and I was getting like no sales, none, like there was no sales. It was not working for Brandon. I got a couple through like a Facebook group and all that kind of stuff, but Facebook has kind of really made it a little bit harder to sell, at least for really, really starting out businesses in my experience back then.
Well, and it takes money on Facebook too.
It takes money and you don't always have the faith that it takes to put money into it.
Yeah.
You don't always have the knowledge to build the ads and stuff to get the turnaround either. So, I mean, starting for free is always a really good move if you're a first-time entrepreneur trying to succeed for the first time.
Yeah.
So I remember being here. I was at a friend's house. We spent a week in Kansas, and I was just playing around a lot with Instagram. And that's when I first got into all the methods that I'll talk about today, and I started following them through every single day. And eventually, in 2 months, I was making my goal. I was like, if I could just make $1,400 a month, I can move out. And
I remember when you were making $3,000 a month.
That's when I met you. That's when I met you. But that was not the goal. My goal was if I can make $1,400 a month, I can move out from my mom's. And that was the biggest goal in life. And I did that.
Brandon, you need to be making that a day, not a month.
Now I can't. Oh yeah. I mean, on a good restock, we make $5,000 a day now. So it's
good.
It's funny. But that's all I wanted back then. And with the Instagram techniques we use, where I was posting every day, it's all about building the audience, because you can't just have that audience overnight. You I started with Instagram, and if I had to do it again, I'd do the same exact thing, because you had to get that first 100 people, that first 1,000 people. Now we've got about 10,000 on Instagram. We got about 11,000 on Facebook. We've got 2,000 in our Facebook group. We got a lot of people on cross platforms, but it all started with Instagram, and I made the most money for the least amount of investment financially with Instagram, and that's why it's the best place to start. Even now, I have friends who are still starting, and I push them onto Instagram because I'm like, that's still, when you're starting, the best place to start.
So we should talk about, because I bet most of the people in this room listening to this broadcast are pretty much starting out or just pretty young companies, and they want to know what they can do. In fact, we were talking about Paul's Instagram, his poor pathetic Instagram.
I know, Paul, this is hard.
He hasn't worked Instagram, so we can say Paul watched the recording, but he has like 130 followers.
Well, I haven't dropped any of my good tips yet. I just said how I got from A to Z and haven't said the how yet. So make sure you share this out. Bring your best entrepreneur friends. Invite them in. We want them to watch this. We want them to get this information. Again, comment on those posts in our Facebook group, because it really helps Facebook's algorithm show people the information that we have. I'm going to link once more to our show before we start dropping all of the bombs about how I made that happen. And again, today, we've moved on from Instagram. We're also using Facebook ads. We spend at least $1,000 to $2,000 a month on ads. We've got all this going on. And this month, we have so much wholesale coming in, along with all the retails coming in, because August is that upsweep of sales after those slow July months. And we made 20 grand for the first time. And I'm like, what if we do that every month from here on? Holy crap.
Yeah. Somebody said
that's 1 year exactly. That's 1 year exactly since I started using Instagram. So this is the 1 year update show.
Yeah. Somebody said, why are you sharing your secrets, dude? Won't your competition use it? And you know what?
Nope. Ooh,
we don't share it. This is answer that, Brandon.
Let me answer that.
We share everything.
I love my competition.
Yep.
I love them. I want them to succeed in everything that they do. There is more than enough people to sell candles, to sell.
Tell them our story, Brandon. Mine and your story.
I love them, and I hope they love me, and I have my story that is mine and mine alone. I have the way that I do me, the way that I paint my paintings, that is only mine. Everything that I do with Wax Crumbles is my own Picasso, and Van Gogh is not going to take away from the same exact eyes that are going to be my painting. I hope they use this information. I hope they have the biggest heart with it, and I hope they pass it on, because I am not going to be greedy with my information. I used to be petrified to share this stuff because I was thinking so small.
I told him, no.
Yeah. My life's changed, and I've only gotten more from sharing. You only ever get more from sharing.
Yep. And you know what? Brandon and I should have been competitors, and we're bestest buds. He's like my adopted kid. Yep.
Thank you, Alma.
Oh, that's cute. There's only one Wax Crumbles. That's right. And
there's only one me. There's only one you. Yep. Like you be able to share all this stuff. I remember I used to hate sharing because of this one experience that happened to me where I shared this information with someone in the candle world, and the next week they were sharing on Facebook. I hate when people ask me for my information. Like, I worked hard to learn all this. No, that is not the attitude that I want to live in my life. I want you to pass on everything here.
Comes back. Come back. And
every time I think it doesn't, it does.
Yeah, the statistic we talk about all the time. Out of the population, 2% will do something with it. 18% are going to take the time to write it down and think they're going to do something with it, but probably won't. And 80% will never do anything with it. So it's like, you know what?
Who actually do something with it,
yeah,
they're not you.
And what if they could be you could be friends, and that's the thing.
I want to be friends with these people. Absolutely. I mean, there's people who are going to copy me, and there's people who've copied me, stonewall copied me for everything I do, and they fall apart because it's not something that they actually love. They just really wanted to be a part of what I'm doing through imitation, and that just doesn't work. And I'm really sad for that, because I hope they find something that does flow through their heart. But very good question, and thank you for bringing that up, Carlos.
Yeah, it was a good one.
So I'm ready. That woke me up, because that's something I'm passionate about.
And you look at where your business has gone just by some of the things that I've even shared with you that I learned in the candle space, because I've been in the space Brandon's in for 20 years before he got in it.
And it changed my life, and I want everyone to feel that.
You just give, and it comes back. Give, it comes back.
I mean, I had a friend who watches the show, and she might be here. Hey, who is a competitor. She's a competitor. She has a business, and we're both started up with the candle business. And she ran out of wax, and I gave her, a 50-pound crate of wax. I mean, we have to have each other's back. That's what I love about competition. Our competition should be our friends. She taught me that.
Yep.
One day when I need somebody to have my back, I want to go to people and know, like, I have their back. I know they'll have mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I love competition. Go them.
Yep.
So,
yep. Yeah. My biggest competitors when I was a multiple $1 million brand. I mean, you have no idea when you're playing at that high a level and you need a favor and you can pick up the phone and call a competitor. There's nothing better than being able to do that. And that's the one thing that I've tried to share with Brandon is it's like, don't fear the big boys, don't fear the competitors, be their friends.
Everyone wants to succeed. Everyone just wants to be happy in their life and support their family and their loved ones.
Absolutely. So we're giving it away. We're giving it away.
Go ahead and share the show with your people. That was just so I could tell you to share the show. That was. So now we're about to start jumping into the Instagram stuff.
The good stuff.
Do you have anything to hit me with? I have my notes of how to go through this, but I know you probably have yours too. So how do you want to start this?
I think we should say, okay, if you were to say what's the most important thing, I'll just ask you some questions about what's the most important thing if somebody's starting out. I know there's probably 2 or 3 things that you think that they are just must-dos. They're not even optional to get your Instagram going. And I think one of them you're going to say, because I've been around you so much, is something about being public and not private. And
I love how we know that. If I was asking you something, I'd be like, I know this one thing you're going to say. That's just how we work.
Yep.
So yeah, my little checklist for getting started, like the little tiny like profile checklist before you start inviting people to your thing, before you start bringing that traffic onto your profile, all of that stuff is to just check your profile, make sure it's actually public. Otherwise, all this work is pointless. Make sure you're not privating your account. Make sure that's checked off. You want to be public. Public is good. Some people literally think they don't want to be public. Please don't do that. Like you will fail. Don't do that.
If you're doing it for business, do not be private.
So that's the first one because that's like vacuuming the floor with the vacuum plug unplugged. Like
I love that scenario.
That was a really good one. And then the next one is going through your profile like description. If you're not saying what you are, be upfront about you being a business. Do not feel like you need to hide that.
How to do their profile, because profiles are where people make the biggest mistakes. Explain what your thought process is on every line of your profile, because I know every line of yours has significance.
Oh yeah, every line of mine, you can only have so much, so you need to work it so significantly. Like if something doesn't fit, I find the next less insignificant thing, I cut it and I find something else.
Yeah.
So at the very top line where you put your name, so that's where I would put Brandon Roland Wagner. Instead, I have kind of boom what we are. And I'm not just talking Wax Crumbles, because like what is Wax Crumbles, but boom what we are. So it says the Anti-Suicide Candle Company, and I will show you. That is right here, the Anti-Suicide Candle Company, up front, big, loud, proud. And my account now is a business account, and I don't know if you can automatically do it from the start, but I know after time, if you're running your business, you'll get invited to change it. Do it. It's actually really good. Most people are fearful that it'll lower their algorithm and it's going to force them to pay more to Instagram. No, I promise you're fine. It'll help you. And then below that is where I go through a couple different things. So the first line on my description, and I space these down, is my Scoop Melt and Joy. And I'm going to read these from this direction. You guys saw it.
Yeah.
It's Scoop Melt and Joy. That's just our slogan. It's something that I want to get burned into people's heads as something that's Wax Crumbles because I love it. It's cute. It's kind of our trademark. Then the next line, I'm more descriptive, and you want to be descriptive somewhere in there, like loud and proud about what you are, like the what, not the why. Like the Anti-Suicide Candle Company is kind of our why, but world's strongest soy-based wax melt is our what, And then we go through a couple different like selling points, like we're handcrafted in Kansas. I want that up there because that's something people love to hear, and that's something I love to share.
Right.
Next one is wholesale is available. I put that there, and I replaced that with our next restock is on XYZ date. So I swapped those out because, those are in the same kind of significance level. And then the very bottom one, and this is my favorite one that I thought up going through my emoji list. I was like, ooh, cool, yeah. So there's arrows right here, and it says reviews in tagged pictures. And this button right here is your tagged pictures button.
I love that tip.
It's been my best tip because social media is social. So encourage people to share your stuff and to tag you in the photo, And that way people who are just visiting your profile can find not just like reviews that you're posting, but immediate social proof by other peers on Instagram. It's really, really great. So if you go to mine, literally there's thousands of photos nowadays. I love saying that. I can say there's thousands of photos.
There really is.
It goes endlessly, but
So someone asked a question. What do you think about having a hashtag in your bio?
It's pointless because the hashtag's not really marked by Instagram system. So don't do that unless, and we've done this before, if you're trying to start a trend with a hashtag. So if you're trying like to do a hashtag with a giveaway you're doing. So if I did wax, 2016 giveaway, hashtag that, I would put that in my bio for the length of the giveaway, something like that. But I wouldn't really put it there for the sake of hashtags main purpose, which is people finding because it's not actually tracked by Instagram.
Right.
Good question.
But yeah, you have an incredible bio, and I can see how each one of those lines would be quite significant. And I like how you did your trademark on your tagline. You put the trademark. For those of you that have a tagline, the way that you do the trademark, I know on my keyboard, is it Option 2? Is that how you did it?
My keyboard's totally different. I'm on Android. We have like the emojis list, and we have like, it's all sorts of weird stuff.
So anyway, you can Google it, the device that you're on, but putting that trademark is a nice touch, I think.
And the trademark symbol, for those who don't know what the TM symbol means, it just means that you are anticipating getting after that, you're claiming it. So if you have to go to court to fight somebody else who's trying to claim it, you can say, I've been using my TM since this date, and you can fight it.
Right, and you can show that you've really used it,
Scoop Melt and Joy is something we've been using for over a year, so that's our.
So Brandon, when you post a picture, how much do you talk in with the picture, and how much, I get asked that question all the time, like, because Instagram is kind of replacing blogging in a lot of ways for some people.
I was going to bring that up, the microblogging thing. So there's three things you can do. Instagram could just be pretty photos, and it should be a mix of all these. You should find where you're comfortable, what you like creating, because that's what people are going to receive best anyway, what you like to. So there's one where it's just pretty photos.
Right.
And that can be a basis for anything that you put on Instagram because it's a platform about pretty photos. But one is just pretty photos with like a description of what's in the photo, maybe a call to action, go buy our stuff. Don't ever be afraid to say, go buy our stuff, because that's why people are usually following your account. People like to get on Instagram to shop. People like to shop. Shocker, I know.
Yeah.
And I use lots of hashtags. We'll go through my rules, my tips and tricks for how I grew my following through hashtags naturally. The second one is a really big thing in the world of YouTube back in the day, which is a big inspiration to Instagram today, was a thing called ASMR, which is like 3D sound. And the whole point of what ASMR is it gives you tingles down the back of your neck, and people love it. So if you're hearing like click, 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 it kind of gives you tingles. It's funny. Mm-hmm. But on Instagram, it's more visual as well as the audio, but the visual can also give you that same ASMR in the back of your neck. Mm-hmm. And those videos, if you go to my Instagram account right now at Wax Crumbles, there's videos of us crushing down the wax crumbles. And it's just, some people are like, oh my God, why am I shivering? And people love it. And some of those videos go viral really, really quick. So the second one would be virality. And we find our virality through that ASMR, through those very like satisfyingly aesthetic videos to make. So just that very close up stuff.
And you use video quite a bit, I notice.
Oh yeah, we're getting new to that. And I really want to speak on that too, about that competition question, because I used to be really, really scared to share some of my behind the scenes stuff. I used to be petrified because I'm like, well, XYZ is going to copy me. I know they're going to see how I do it. But, I came to that whole.
They can't keep up with you. They can't keep up
with me if they're copying me, especially.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do what I need to do. I'm going to share what I need to share because I love these video clip bits. I love how I do my stuff, and I want to share that stuff. So
do you know how I used to look at
your business without fear?
How I used to look at competitors when a competitor copied me, I'm like, hey, I was flattered because they knew who I was, for starters.
And
they
just
copied.
trucking.
But the thing is, when you're in a product-based business like we are, you're going according to trends, and you're moving so fast that by the time that they copy you, you're about ready to move on from that trend, and you have the next one, and they're
I love that.
And that
you're following trends. They're following
you. Way ahead.
Oh, I love
way
that.
ahead. And I always
didn't think of it that way until now.
That's how I always looked at it. I'm like, you're going to be behind because that line's going away.
That is so good.
It's the fast that eat the slow, not the big that eat the small.
Someone write that into the comments right now. And while someone's doing that, we're just getting into the really good nitty gritty stuff. I have a whole list of very detailed tips that I haven't shared yet. And if you could go ahead, jump into our Facebook group, like I said, and go ahead and comment on that post. Go ahead and invite your business friends in your business groups, your favorite communities and stuff to come watch the show today, because it's a really awesome topic that, as you can see, lights us both up. So we would really appreciate that. So it's the fast that eat the big, not the slow.
It's the fast that eats the slow, not the big that eat the small. And that's the motto I ran my entire business on. I wanted to be faster than any of the big competition, because the big competition's like a Titanic. You can't turn it around. Well, we always wanted to be agile and fast.
I would love to make a print that says that and give it away. I would love that.
I had it on the wall in the hall and in the conference room, and our whole motto of the business was run on that.
Because it's not about competition. It's really not. I hated living my life in fear of competition.
No, you can't.
I'm making really $3,000 a month. I mean, I focus now. It's all about my message. Like, we've thought about changing our name to the Anti-Suicide Candle Company, because it's something that's our actual whole focus anymore. So just don't be afraid of competition. I really want to get that in, because that Brandon of this time last year, that was his biggest fear. He was so scared, and I'm like, you poor little baby. Because starting out is scary. You're always scared that Etsy shop next to you is just going to really do what you did, and they're going to succeed and you're not. It's such a big fear, but it's just not true.
Yep, you're right. We've got that one through.
Carrying on with Instagram. Thank you guys for sharing this out. I see you guys tweeting it, sharing it on Facebook, and I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it. So where were we with Instagram?
Okay, we're going to the next one. We talked about the story. Now I want you to talk about the call to action and how you put a call to action in your photos, and what kind of calls to action do you think they should be putting in theirs? Because I think every one of them needs a call to action, don't they?
So call to actions, everything needs a call to action. And a call to action is go to my website, buy this thing, it's on sale. We have free shipping today.
Click the link in my bio.
Yeah, so that's a really big thing, that you can't put links in the description of a photo on.
Right.
So it is microblogging, but you can say, click the link in the bio, or you can type out, waxcrumbles.com. Go to waxcrumbles.com. Most people that are using Instagram, they know this. They're like kind of conditioned to know they would have to go to the browser and type it in, or they'd have to go to your profile and click the button. They know this. Don't assume they don't. Just use that call to action and get them to where they need to go. Instagram is my biggest source of traffic. It was, at least before we started going into paid advertising, and we still got thousands of views every month. And free thousands of views is really good.
Well, you
for minimum work.
Because you know how people start on a shoestring, because you've used Instagram, you've been able to step up your game and acquire the cash flow that it takes to run Facebook ads, which can also be Instagram ads. So
now they do Instagram ads too, and those have been going really, really well.
Yeah. So that's the call to action. Okay, Brandon, tell them here's another question that I get asked by clients all the time too, and I know you're a pro at this, and that's what hashtags to use, how many to use, where to place the hashtags. Should they be underneath the photo? Should they be in the comments in the next one beneath the photo? Give us your expertise opinion on that.
So I'm not as committed and religious to it anymore as I was, because I have that big ad budget. I can now afford to just pay for it to all be done through Facebook, because I have 1,000 other things going on. Imagine a whole team nowadays. But when I was on the shoestring budget, this was something that I had to do every day. It's not that hard to do. First and foremost, you can use 30 hashtags in every single Instagram you can post. And that's really important to know, because I would make a Evernote file in my phone that I could access from my computer, and I would make a list of 200 hashtags. You can only use 30, so I would use 200. So I would make a list of 200, and I would go to websites, or I'd go to Instagram, and I'd type the hashtag in, and I'd see how many people were using that hashtag. And I would go ahead, plop the number right next to it, and I would go ahead and I would cut them out, and I'd take the top 29. Okay, listen to these numbers. I would take the top 29 that were used the most of that list of 200, that I could find all those hashtags versus what my people were posting, related hashtags, the things that I thought to look up. I just thought as many as I could. And then I used the top ones, the most popular ones. I took that 29, 28, I put them in my Evernote file. And now that extra one or two that you don't have, that you can copy and paste to every single photo every single time. And I would update this every 6 months. I would redo it every 6 months or so. You don't have to. I would do custom to the photo. So if it's blue object, I would put hashtag blue. If it was a dog, I'd put a hashtag dog, for example. Just so I have those extra specific hashtags to those things. If it was banana scented, I'd put banana, for example.
Yep. Good. So that works.
There's a question on the side. When you change the link in your bio, and that link is not going to the place you were talking about in the picture, well, you should change the bio link to the place you were talking about in your most recent picture. Remember, Instagram photos only have a lifespan, statistically, of 1 day. So make sure that your most recent photo
has the current link.
Is related to that current link. People switch out their links to their most recent YouTube videos, or to their most recent blog post all the time, to a specific product bundle, things like that.
Changing it out all the time. Really easy to do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Brandon, I bet you can't guess what the #1 question is that I get asked by clients, and I'm sure you get asked by everybody all the time.
How to get traffic.
How to get more followers.
What?
How to get more followers.
You can't put anything past me, Becky Jane.
They want bigger audiences. How do they get more followers?
So the question on the side is, can you use Instagram on your PC? Technically, no. Of course, you can do anything in the world of technology, but it's just easier to follow Instagram systems and use your phone. So to the question of how to get more Instagram followers, that one. There's a couple ways, and you're gonna have to do the ways that are both most comfortable for you and easiest, and that work the most for your people, because Instagram's always changing. So I encourage you to try all these methods. I encourage you to make up new ones. I encourage you to find the best working way and use your mind to kind of just become that social expert. So what I used to do, there was a couple things. Hashtags is a really big thing, and it'll surprise you off the bat. You can get 50 to 100 likes on an image just because of hashtags. And you want a call to action from the beginning to actually, instead of go to a link, to follow you instead. In my description, I'd say, we're a small base candle company. Follow us on Instagram. And people then would. Call to actions, they work.
Yeah.
So besides from that, there was also the follow for follow method, which was really condemned on Twitter because it was just really spammy. The way Twitter had it set up was way too free for all. But for Instagram, the limitations that they set on it actually have made it pretty darn quality. So Instagram is like a very minimal ad platform. They have new ads now, but it's still a very user-based program. So it's very social. It's still that way. And so that's why this method, in my opinion, still works. And there's no arguing that it works, period. Some people don't like that they're going to follow people with no intention of following them, I guess, viewing their posts and stuff like that. But you know what? I've had so many people, as I did this method last year, tell me, I'm so glad that you followed me because I never would have found your stuff. And your message speaks so deeply to me. So I have no regret of following people on Instagram so that they could find my stuff, because I've got good stuff worth following too. So what I would do, and there's a couple ways of doing this, but one of my main ways of doing this, listen to this slowly. I might repeat it once or twice and I'll answer questions afterwards. First, I would go to like a competitor's hashtag. And I'm talking like big box, just a place that I know my customers, my target customers shop at. So for me, that's Lush, that's Bath and Body Works, that's Yankee Candle. So let's say we went to Lush's hashtag. So I would look up hashtag Lush Cosmetics, and I would go to their hashtag and I would scroll through the most recent, not the most popular, the most recent posts. I would scroll down until I found something that had a fair amount of hearts on it. So likes, if you're speaking in Facebook terminology. And it would have maybe 30, 40. And I would click that to see who liked that image. And this image would have to have been posted 20, 30 minutes ago. So it's so fresh. So I know there's people that just liked it are probably still on Instagram, or they're probably still playing around with Instagram. So I would go through, and then there's a list and the follow buttons on the right side. So I would go through and I would follow every single one of those people
who liked that post,
who were on Instagram at that time, to get them to see Wax Crumbles. And my name was Wax Crumbles. It was the Anti-Suicide Candle Company. My hashtag, my handle, the @ Wax Crumbles was Wax Crumbles. My logo was there because it's a business. Instagram is very business friendly, surprisingly enough. It's way more business friendly than Facebook is, just because it's not as condemned as Facebook makes it, because they want you to pay for it. Instagram is so much so much better in my opinion for starting out your business for this reason. So the follow for follow method works just like that. And over time, you'll follow a lot of people, and you're going to want to pace yourself because you don't want to clog the system up. And Instagram doesn't want you to either, and it will punish you for
Isn't there a limit, like 300 a day or something?
There's a limit. It's not posted, it's not public, and it's always changing. So it's kind of weird. So I only would ever do this. So I would follow maybe 50, 60 an hour every other hour, maybe. And, you know, that's not many, and I'd have to come back to it. And for a period of time, I was always saying Instagram is my lifestyle now. Like, I'd have to wake up. What I would do, I'd follow 60 people on Instagram using that method I just talked about. I was eating lunch, and I was sitting down, and I just finished. I would sit down, and I would follow 60 people. This is 5 minutes of your day, maybe 4 or 5 times a day. It shouldn't interrupt your day or become a task. It should just become an extra thing you do when you're sitting on the toilet. It's got to be that simple, or you won't do it. And so what happens when you are following, you know, 1,000 people, you know, it's accumulated after a week or two, because a week or two of that is a buildup. That's a lot. So what happens? So I would use apps to unfollow these people only that have not followed me back. If someone has followed me, I want to continue to follow them. I want to give them that. I want to still have a connection with them in that way. I don't want to unfollow them because they might see that, and that's just kind of rude to me. So I only want to unfollow people who have not yet followed me back. So who have not said they're interested in my stuff as well. So the app that I use to do that is called InstaFollow. It's one word, and that's how it's spelled on the
what does it look like on your thing?
Yeah, that's how it's spelled on the Android market. It's different for iPhone, but this is what the icon looks like. It's right here.
Oh, okay, I have that one.
Take a screenshot, guys. I'm moving it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you can find that icon, if you look up InstaFollow on the Apple Store or the Android Store, look for that icon, download it. I paid $2 for the pro version to get rid of ads. And what I do with that is just the same as, you know, the sitting on the toilet every 5 minutes and playing around and everything. I would do this in the same session. So if I'm eating lunch and I just followed 60, I would go through afterwards, for example. And then I would unfollow the limit. And I think the limit. How long
do you give them to follow you before you unfollow? Do you give them a day or two?
So I did a couple different methods. So I would sometimes take 2 or 3 days and I would do nothing but focus on following. And then I would do a couple of different like days after that in between where I would just focus on unfollowing. So I had this big cycle where I gave people time to follow me. Eventually what I did instead was I would just like follow in the AM, unfollow in the PM, because if they're not following me immediately, the odds of them actually following me are like so low that it's just not worth waiting on. So that's what I would do.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like, how many people are you following versus how many are following you?
So now I think we have, let's see, I haven't unfollowed in forever. Like, we just don't use Instagram that way anymore because Facebook works so much better for us because we have that budget. But currently we have 9,000 followers and we follow almost 5, but I could unfollow at least 2 grand of those. And we probably have like 3,500 people who it's a mutual follow. And so, you know, there's a lot of those followers who are natural, which is great. This encourages a lot of natural growth because the idea is not just to grow this way indefinitely. It's to get your name out to people who don't know you yet so that they can talk about you and share you with people that also don't know you
yet.
Well,
part of it too, Brandon, is you're building your tribe. Not to cut you off there.
Right, absolutely.
But you're building your tribe. So he's taking the people who are really engaged on Instagram and he's taken them over to the Facebook group. Like, we have our tribe here. We have a lot of regulars here that are on the show that are in our e-commerce Facebook group. And so that's kind of what I see how you've evolved over time, because then you're probably getting as much business out of your Facebook group as you are Instagram and email marketing.
This giant Instagram bucket that was making me a solid 5-6 grand a month just by itself. And then I've got this new Facebook bucket that's making me almost 10 a month by itself. And then I've got, that's with the Facebook page and the group. The group's more easy to get sales through naturally without paying than it is for the Facebook page. But the page is also really good too if you've got ads figured out. And with anything, it takes time and it takes learning. You don't have to learn all this overnight.
Right. Yeah. So
there's questions on the side, lots of them that I haven't read.
Yeah. So let's see what they have. How much time do you spend doing this?
I used to spend, like I said, it was maybe I'd spend 15 minutes 5-6 times a day. So at the end of the day, maybe I've spent an hour doing this.
Okay.
Anyone can kind of sacrifice that amount of time. You're you're waiting on a friend to show up to the house, you're sitting on the bench. You make it a habit, so it's not something that it's a task, because it's something you have to do all the time. You have to think of it as something like you need to go smoke Instagram. Like, think in the mind of a smoker, but you need to use Instagram. Don't smoke.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like Michelle says, she does hair, so she's always doing looking for local people there in between. Just kind of work it. You learn how to put it in and figure it into your schedule.
I worked with a bakery that was local to do the follow and follow method for local people. And what you would do is you'd find local themed accounts, like local photographers or local like teams and stuff like that. And you would just do that method the same way. You can always find your target audience through Instagram because they're already there. They're already there following someone.
Yeah. So how often do you tag people in pictures? Because I know that you found a lot by getting you get tagged a lot. You get your people to tag you, which in turn, that's another way to build your business through those tags.
I'm always encouraging people to tag us. Like if people tag us in the description, we don't really want that. We go ahead and comment and say, hey, also tag us in the photo. And usually it's not something people think to do because your face isn't there. But as a business, it's important for us to have it in the reviews. So we go ahead and we ask, you ask and you shall receive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do every day, Jessica.
And do you ever work with any other brands to go back and forth and share audiences by using tagged photos or
like cross-pollinating?
Yes.
I worked with a couple candle companies too. And that's when I was just starting to get over the fear of other candle companies. I mean, there are obviously some people who are just not nice, who are in a more like scarcity mindset. That's fine. They'll figure their own stuff out. But there's some people who are not. There's so many amazing people who are making the same stuff you are. You love making what you make. They love making what they make. Like collab with them. And sometimes I worked with my favorite one to work with was nail polish brands, actually, because it's the same audience, but it's completely different. Most of them don't even know what wax melts are, and it's really, really great. So that was a favorite one of mine to work with. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you have any secret hacks that you use that you think the people haven't heard here that
let me look down the list.
Because I've got a few hacks I wonder if you've heard.
Hit me.
I want to know when you're putting your photo up and you're doing your description down at the bottom, it won't let you do paragraphs and all that kind of stuff. Do you know how to do that and to get the return in the paragraphs in between? Like say you were doing a mini blog. You don't want it to be one big, huh?
I downloaded a different keyboard that had like the space mark, but even then, like 80% of the time it works, and sometimes it jumbles it all into a paragraph. So like if that's happening on anyone's phone, like I'm with you.
Okay, well, I just read something because I was looking for a few hacks to see if I could surprise you with one. So when you are typing in your story and you want to return, because there's no return on the Instagram keyboard.
In the return button, for those of you who don't know, it's the like enter button when you're typing. It goes down a line. It makes a space line.
So there's a secret hack to do the return while you're doing your Instagram. And it's the 1, 2, 3 button.
What do you mean?
Go to your Instagram keyboard like you're going to put a picture in.
Okay.
And then you have your keyboard there. As you're typing, your 1, 2, 3 button on your keyboard. That's your return button on Instagram. If you want to put a space between the copy.
You have an iPhone, don't you?
Yeah.
We have something. It doesn't work for me. I actually on mine, I actually have a return button. Like I actually.
But it won't work. That's my point. It won't work. But the 1, 2, 3 button will. If you can try doing that when you're putting your story in, but it won't do it. You can also put it in the notes. You can type it on your notes, copy it, and move it over. That's another way to do it.
I'm not sure I'll have to figure that one out.
But you're going to have to try that one.
She's like, I looked him up so I could see if I could surprise you.
I wanted to have some hacks that Brandon doesn't have. I'm like, let me see. Okay, so there's also a website that has tags that people do. So like there's another way to get on the Discover page so that you can get some more virality and people can find your products is to use certain hashtags on certain days that are going to show up on that.
Right. Trends.
And of course, of course you have the Throwback Thursday. That's one. Then you have Thirsty Thursday, Thursday Fun Day, and Thankful
Remember,
Thursday.
all of these are just avenues for new people to find.
Right, for new people to find you. But every day of the week, they have a few that are used consistently. Right. So Man Crush Monday, Music Monday, Mountain Monday, Meow Monday.
Anything that can like match that, you can make them up. Because probably
Manicure Monday. But these are some that lots and lots of people will use consistently. So that, and if you want to get a list of the hashtags that are used on the days of the weeks, it's popsugar.com.
Yeah.
/tech/hashtags. But so then Transformation Tuesday, Travel Tuesday, Tuesday Treat.
And you can make these mini blogs. You can blog about things if you're not across the country, you can blog about one of your favorite trips. It's all about getting people to your Instagram.
Just find a way to use one of those popular hashtags and it will put you in the Discover. So then, of course, there's Woman Crush Wednesday, Hump Day, Wine Wednesday, Women to Follow, Way Back Wednesday, Healthy Hump Day, Wolf Wednesday. See, then that's when you put a picture of your dog and go hashtag Wolf Wednesday, and you're going to show up in the Discover. So, and then we talked about the Thursday, Friday, Follow Friday, Flashback Friday, Friday Fun Day, Friday Night. Oh, here's one.
Flashdale Friday.
Saturday, Catterday. And put a picture of your cat. I haven't seen that one before. That's cute.
I love everyone watch. This is Becky discovering the internet.
Me trying to one-up Brandon with a few things he doesn't know. Right, Brandon?
Oh, gosh. We went through my list, making sure we went through understanding Instagram, what it is, that virality we talked about. We went through opening your account, making sure it's not private. We went through making your bio short but sellable. Make it clear so people don't have to wonder what you are or scroll 1,000 pictures. Make them know immediately because they're not going to scroll. They want to know off. Yeah. Hashtags, that 28 rule, that 29 rule, having it in your Evernote that you can just copy and paste on mobile. The call to action everywhere they can be. So, there's a call to action in my, there's usually more than one call to action in my description. Usually it's, we're having a sale today, click here, usually stuff like that. And then there's also the whole reviews and tag pictures thing. That's a call to action.
Yeah.
We go through getting more followers through your comparison accounts. Like we always do that with big accounts like Lush and Bath and Body Works. I prefer to do it for those big accounts, Lush and Bath and Body Works, versus kind of carrying off the backs of my fellow kind of size competitors who are the same size as me, just because I think that's a mutual respect. And it's easier anyway, because the bigger accounts have so many more people and they're going to be fresh people. They're going to be fresh to the community, fresh to your market anyway. So I prefer that over, people who are on your same level. It's just a mutual respect I've discovered. We went through the Insta Follow app. That's a really good app. I recommend it. But there's also multiple other apps you could use, but that's just the one that I've always used.
Okay, we haven't gone through something, Brandon. Stories. How into the Instagram stories are you now?
Oh, you mean the new stories thing? Okay, that's been working really well for us, actually. That's been going really, really well because you can share things that aren't always so manicured because, your Instagram thing has to be so manicured to an extent. But with those, it's kind of easier to share more Snapchat-like things. But for us, getting people to Snapchat was hard.
Yeah.
And we always talked about, is Snapchat good for business? And we always came to the conclusion, it's good for connecting with people who are already connected with you, but it's not good for finding new people. Well, this is so much better because you can use Instagram to connect with new people and to connect with them further on using the stories feature. So we're going to move on. We're not going to use Snapchat anymore at Wax Crumbles. We're going to focus on stories 100% because there's so many more people, that's all the followers you have on Instagram. I'm so happy they did that. Stories.
And you know what? Have you noticed Instagram? Well, I don't know about you, but my Snapchat's just kind of died. People have moved over. I think a lot of people that were spending time on Snapchat have moved.
It's so sad.
But you know what? It's going to happen. And you know what? There's going to come a point where this show will probably even be moved to Facebook Live.
I know. This is our third platform, and we're already we're probably going to go to Facebook once they release that.
And then everything will be on Facebook.
So never be afraid to move with your platforms. The world is changing. Move with it or crushed.
Pivot fast. It's the fast that eat the slow, not the big that eat the small. Remember?
So I'm going to see some more questions on the side. Cats are really big in general, Laura. They're so big online right now.
They always have been. Cats and dogs both.
Cats own the internet.
Yeah, they do. So do dogs, though.
The word on Silicon Valley. That's a good one, Chris.
Yeah. They
That's
required a discovery. Yeah, you know what? They need one. That's my biggest complaint about Snapchat. You can't find people. You can't find people.
Hey, if they're going to fight it out, I mean, we're going to get a better service in the end, no matter who wins.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's the fast that eat the slow, not the big that eat the small. I love that so much. I want that on my wall.
You need to. See my little sign you made for me? Well, make one for you that says that.
I'm gonna.
And then everything that you do as you're developing products, you keep that in mind. And you go, can we be quick to market with this? Can we?
Right.
It's
funny because I've got my girls so into the mindset now. Like they're not scared. That's a word for Baltimore. They're not afraid.
Yeah.
Afraid to kind of share these things anymore. They've gotten such into the business mindset, not just in business, but in life that, things like this aren't scary. Competition isn't scary. We should embrace our differences. Mm-hmm. We should connect, all this kind of stuff. I love that question because it's so important. I'm not afraid of my competition. Like, I'm so glad that was brought up because that's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've really embraced that. That's good. And that's part of why you're growing so fast.
Yes, absolutely. Because like you said, when your competition would fail, what would you do? You'd call them over. You'd pay for them to come out and visit you and talk to them about why they failed and what you can do differently.
Absolutely. It is. It is.
We're all just trying to succeed in this world. I hated living like I was against everybody. And I keep talking about it because this was the biggest thing to me this day last year. Yeah. It was petrifying. I hated feeling like I was against the world and that I was defending myself. Anyone who's going to copy you is going to be so small and insignificant anyway, and they're going to fall off the wagon because they're
not going to sound like you.
Follow trends, not people. Ugh.
Yes.
So before we end the show, because we have got almost 10 minutes to the mark and we have to end at least 2 minutes ahead because we've both got very busy schedules today, we are going to open up the Q&A session. So on the right-hand side, you can go ahead and ask any questions in the comments. You don't need to use any special codes.
Make sure that you all go over and follow both Brandon and I and join the Facebook group, E-Commerce Show. If you haven't already.
And we would love to have you in it. It's the best community on Facebook. It's definitely my favorite.
Unfiltered or black and white photos. I do prefer unfiltered or black and white. Do you have an answer? I do. Mine's
I go in and I edit the contrast up a little bit.
Yeah. I'm at Becky J. Anderson 1.
I have Econosquare. I have the premium for that, and it's been really good.
Yeah. I'm not as active on Instagram as I should be, but we're working it. Okay, now, Brandon, next Tuesday, we won't be having a show.
Okay. I was like, we're going to be talking about, well then.
We're taking a week off. I'm going to have a little surgery on Thursday.
Okay, I guess that's a good enough excuse.
A little heart surgery, yeah.
Don't break my heart. Honestly, I need a break. We've been so busy with this wholesale that came in. We just got our biggest record-breaking wholesale order ever. It's awesome. My team will be here in an hour on the dot. They're kicking butt, and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it.
Yeah. But hopefully I'm back the next week. Thank you.
We post all these replays in that group. Make sure you ask questions on the side. I'd love to answer 1 or 2 Qs before we leave. For any of us, it does not have to be Instagram related. You can be about your business, about anything. We will answer it.
Thank you guys for your well wishes. Hopefully it's good. We hope. I can use some prayers on Thursday.
I'm going to call you up. You done yet?
Let's see. When is the show about Facebook groups? Oh, we need to do one of those.
We do. If you guys don't know, I've grown my Facebook group this past 2 months to almost over 2,000 people in the group. Like, it's been great. So I'm like ready to talk about Facebook groups.
Yeah, he has. Yes, he's done good. Very good. Well, we really appreciate everybody being on here.
Do you offer services? I don't offer services anymore, but Becky, I know, does amazing one-to-one stuff, and I would know because I worked with her one-to-one stuff. Like, I could not run my business if I could not call Becky up and harass her with 1,000 questions a day. So, as a personal testimonial to this woman,
and you can see this testimonial on my website.
You can. It's at the top.
Yeah.
That's BeckyJAnderson.com. BeckyJAnderson.com.
I have to put the J in because there is a
I don't even know what it is.
Reporter, Becky Anderson in
Becky Anderson. I'd be like, who is that?
On CNN, yeah. On CNN, so you have to put the J in.
It's so funny.
I just have a common name.
It's the 50 mark. It sounds like the end of the show. That was a big show. A lot of you were here. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
It was awesome.
I'm so pumped now.
Everybody's going to go work Instagram.
Absolutely. Go work Instagram and tag me if you want, not in the photo, but like put me in the description, do @WaxCrumbles. I'd love to come stalk you and see it and give you some love. Becky, what's your handle on Instagram?
@BeckyJAnderson1, and I will give you some love too.
And one comment about what you said, because you were saying I'm working on my Instagram, something that you're always saying is fly to the roots that grow. And if your Instagram's not working off that, maybe that's why you're not there. You know, you're working on other areas like here. This is a way that you find people for your consulting for stuff like that. Always fly to the roots that grow. If you try every tip for Instagram, I don't care if you watch every episode we've ever done, if it doesn't work for you, don't do it. Do not do it. But I think it will work for you. So try it out.
Brendan, you are picking up all my Beckyisms out of that video, aren't you?
All of this I get from working with Becky. This is a year in progress. Work with the woman. She is really good.
Fly to the roots that make money. That is the motto.
I love it.
Yep. You got it.
That's the end of the show. Thank you guys. And again, here's our Facebook group. Come join us. We're always supporting. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have issues going on in your business, you can post it there. We both help you out, as well as our amazing community. You can find me at waxcrumbles.com, and you can find Becky
at BeckyJAnderson.com.
And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, guys. Bye.